standing by, and he's at Greenpoint High School. Ulrich, good morning. We've heard a mixed bag this morning from our reporters across the country. So what's happening at Greenpoint High this morning?
Hi, good morning, Sakina, and welcome to Kimberley in the Northern Cape. Of course, the Greenpoint High School has had several problems in the past. It was one of the schools that were identified for ablution facilities, etc. We actually spoke to one of the teachers earlier, and he was actually saying that because of the coronavirus, some of the problems here at the school have been fixed. So the Premier came to the school this morning, so let's hear from him. What is your assessment of the situation in the province and specifically at the school?
Jack, we are sitting with a difficult challenge of opening 563 schools in the Northern Cape under extremely challenging circumstances, of ensuring that in all the schools that will be opened, the environment is safe, we don't expose children to possible exposure to COVID-19. This is one of the schools which I came to, and I think things are quite fine. 3 classes have been arranged for about 80 grade 12s. Adequate spacing, and there is screening that is taking place, and there will be a regular checkup on all the learners and including teachers. I'm quite happy with what I've seen here.
God forbid it happens, but there's always a possibility that a COVID case can be found in one of the schools in this province. What happens then?
Now, what happened, I think our approach to COVID is adequately articulated by the President. He says it's a risk-adjusted approach. What we'll have to do is to manage the transmission of the virus whilst at the same time we find ways of reintegrating people to their normal lives. So if that happens, which one can't rule out, we can't rule out a possibility of infections taking place at schools. If that happens, we'll have to shut down the school and get all the people who are here at this school to go for self-isolation, whilst we'll be unleashing our contact tracers to ensure that who have been in contact with a person that has been infected with the virus.
There are a lot of parents who are very scared about sending their children to school. Grade 5s and 12s are going, 7 and 12 are going to school today. But especially younger children, parents are scared that their children will get it or bring it back home. What do you have to say to those parents?
Yeah, there's a great deal of reluctance. Even here, we are expecting about 89 learners. I suspect there's about 50. Almost half of the grade 12s are not here. And I'm certain parents are waiting, wait and see what is actually happening before they can actually release their children to come at school. It's fair for parents to have that sense of fright that their children might be exposed to the virus because we don't have much control over it. So what we can say to the parents is that as the provincial government of the Northern Cape will do everything possible within our reach as the provincial government to ensure that their children don't get exposed to an environment which is not right.
Premier, 2 weeks ago, your MEC went to various schools. He found some of them utterly horrible. He said that we can't send our children to those schools. We've spoken about this. Where did the money come from to fix these schools?
We have to reprioritize the provincial budget. We've reprioritized close to 1 billion rand of the provincial budget to COVID priorities in the province. So we have to do that because we're in a disaster. And when you're in a disaster, you have to reprioritize the resources in order to ensure that we mitigate the impact of the virus, and also to ensure that we get our schools open and we reintegrate the people to their normal lives in the province. So it all boils down to reprioritization. The reality of the matter is we are going to build less houses this financial year because money has to come to COVID priorities. We'll build less roads this year because we'll have to reprioritize our resources to ensure that we immediately and urgently respond to the challenges posed on us by COVID.
Thank you very much. There's the Premier of the Northern Cape, Dr. Zamani Saul. Of course, he's been visiting schools here in the Kimberley area. He's also going to next to the Salt Plaatjie Primary School. But a lot of fear from parents in this area and around the province about sending their children to school. The children that we've spoken to, the learners here at this school, quite excited about coming back to school, finishing the year, although they did say that they are a bit scared, but they did get their PPEs and they are staying safe in terms of practicing hygiene. Sakina?
Well, thank you so much, Ulrich Hendricks, and that's the situation at Greenpoint High School in Kimberley. And we're going to take a break.